What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Not So Pro Football Talk. It's time to get serious. It's crunch time. We're in the back half of fantasy football. And for those y'all who are here and who are listening, it's because you need to capitalize here. It's either you need to win now, you need to win out, or you need to maintain your first spot position so you get the best opportunity when it comes to playoffs. Trade deadline's coming up. We got a couple of days left.
2 or 3 days for most of y'all. Yeah.
3 days for most of y'all. Trade deadline's coming up. It's time to make some moves. It's been time to make moves since last week, you guys. Ooh, okay. I'm getting nervous because I'm getting pumped up. I need to win out in one of my leagues. In another league, I just need to ride the coaster. And another league, I just gotta, be myself. But very, very unpredictable games, unpredictable players. But let's narrow it down. Let's get right down to it. Let's get to the nitty greedy, you guys. It's all about matchups now. Now you're coming to the back half of the season where you're not just looking at the players themselves, you're looking at who they're going up against, what type of defense they're going up against, what offense these defenses are going up against. You got to get detailed with it. It's now or never. You got to get into it. What do you think, Vince?
Yeah, man, I've already tried to trade for some people based on matchups for the last 2-3 weeks of the season, whatever you guys have laid down for your playoff brackets, whether you have a 6-team playoff, an 8-team playoff, or a 4-team playoff. Just determines on how many more weeks you have in the regular season. I know me and AJ, most of ours are 10-man leagues with 6-team playoffs, so ours ends week 14. But if you have a 4-man playoff, it's going to be week 15. And then if you have an 8-man playoff, then it's going to be week 13, so on and so on. So right now is the time. It's the last week, of course, for most of y'all to get that last trade in. I've got a couple guys that I've been trying to trade for lately. One of them is Antonio Gibson. He goes against my Seahawks next week, and he's looking healthier and healthier. But I think him and McKissick are going to be the studs, along with McLaurin. They're going to be the studs that game, and they're going to score a lot of points. So if you have them on your team, I would start them. If you want to trade for a good running back or just running backs because they're both running backs. Those are the two guys to trade for, especially for week 12.
Yeah, running back is going to be the hardest position to fill out now. Just because most of the running backs are either taken or they're being cuffed. What I mean by cuffed is people are holding on to them for this very moment. So it's kind of almost impossible for you to be able to buy low on these certain players because people have been holding on to these players for so long. Now, there is another version of cuffing players, and this is the after the trade deadline. Some people don't do that. I don't like to do this, okay? It just takes up bench space for me. But a lot of people are picking up Hubbard. They're picking up Booker. They're picking up Madison. These big run teams backups. So just in case a Cook goes out, you got Madison in there. He did very well when Cook went out in the regular season. And he could do well for you again whenever or if someone gets hurt. If you're that type of person, go do it now. If not, then get someone who's actually going to help you out, who actually can be available. And one person is something that Vince has been talking about for the past 3 weeks now, and his name is Davonte Freeman. Okay, he's with the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, what was his name? It just blanked out. Their starting running backs coming back. Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray. He's coming back. He's going to take all the snaps, this, and that. No, Davonte Freeman is that guy. He's going to be taking majority of the reps, which he has been, and he's just going to be tearing up the field all season long, especially if something happens with Lamar where his sickness continues. They're going to rely on the running game. He's only owned in 36% 36% of leagues in the NFL fantasy football app, guys. 36. Go out there, pick him up. It's your last chance because I guarantee you, after this week, that's it. It's game over. He's not going to be available. He is the best option for you guys on the waiver wire that is not owned by majority of rosters. You got to go out there. You got to get him.
Yeah, man, I agree. I think another guy that right now is going to be playing the next few weeks, I've been talking about him in the past maybe 2 or 3 weeks before last week. His name is Ty Johnson. I know Michael Carter, their number one running back, just had an ankle injury. There's a high ankle sprain, so that he's going to be out for 1 to 2 weeks, is what they say. And when he's out, Ty Johnson, he's only the pass catching back, but he's the only guy that gets points in the backfield. When Michael Carter was out, he got respectively 11 points, 13 points, 19 points, and 12 points. And this past week, when he played, he only got 2.3 points. So you can see when Michael Carter's in, Ty Johnson doesn't get anything, but when he's out, he's a consistent guy that gets you double-digit points. And he's only owned on 5.3% of rosters in the NFL Fantasy app. So I would get him. I have him on one of my teams where I'm hurting at running back, hoping that Michael Carter doesn't come back soon enough. So I'm going to be sliding him in there whenever I have bye weeks. That's another thing, too, that we wanted to talk about, week 13 and 14. A lot of good teams are on bye weeks that week, and those are the crunch time weeks. So right now you have to be making your moves so you can go ahead and prioritize for those weeks, because come week 13 and 14, there's not going to be anybody on the free agency wire. Everybody's going to be gone. So right now is when you have to make your moves.
Yes, I completely agree. And if you guys are like Vince and I, where the leagues that we're in, miraculously, all the players we talk about, they're not available. They're not there anymore. Okay. So Davonte Freeman, Johnson, just like you said, they're gone. So if you guys are in that predicament, just like us, I got a far-fetched dude at running back that you could go and get. It's definitely a reach, but it can benefit you big time. Vince, I can guarantee you're not going to agree with me here,
Go ahead.
but if he does well this Thursday, he's going to be gone and he will not be available any longer to the end of the season. I'm talking about former San Francisco running back Matt Breida for the Buffalo Bills. Yes, I know Zach Moss is there. Devin Singletary is there. But who is getting that starter position? Matt Breida is. It took him a while to get there, to learn the system. But these past 2 weeks, he's been getting the carries. He's been grinding it out. And right now, no one's going to pick him up because last week they had a horrible game against the Colts. So, of course, they're not going to be running the ball. That's why he still got 7.80 points, almost 8 points. From now on, he is going to be that leading back. I could be wrong here. That's why I said it's such a far reach for this player. But if he does well this Thursday, your opportunity will be gone to pick him up early. If you have room on your bench, or if you're just so desperate you need a running back because you're the type of person that got Adrian Peterson or Mick Nichols or whatnot, go take a chance, pick up Matt Breida from the Buffalo Bills. What do you call that? You got a
high ceiling, high ceiling and a very low floor.
Correct. Yeah. Almost little to no consequences, but everything to gain. Is perfect, guys. If you guys are desperate, if you guys need a running back that can really make a change in your roster this late in the league, I think Matt Breida could be that player for you.
Yeah, since we're doing that, I want to speak on my Seahawks a little bit.
Okay.
There's one guy by the name of DJ Dallas. Right now, he's looking to be our number one running back. Alex Collins, they're sitting him out. Travis Homer, I know they're saying that he's going to be the lead back, but when he was in this past game, when we were behind, he only had 1 touch. And DJ Dallas came in the fourth quarter. He only had 4 touches, but he had 25 yards rushing, and he had 2 catches. So that was all in our last drive when we actually were trying to score, and I think we did score that drive. But he's looking like he knows the system. Pete Carroll looks like he's confident in him. He went in there in the fourth quarter, only got the ball 5 or 6 times, I believe, and he had production of up to plus 40 yards. And I believe he also had a touchdown rushing. And I think he was the one that scored that last touchdown for us. So I'm thinking that DJ Dallas is also going to be used a lot more. I forgot his fantasy production points, but I believe it was around that 7-8 mark as well. And he was only in for one drive. So if you guys are also looking for a guy who has a high ceiling and a low floor, he's either your boom or bust guy. It's going to be DJ Dallas. So if you're really hurting, there's nobody there. These guys are the guys that are pretty much in all of leagues. I think he was in 0.1% of leagues. So he's probably like in two people's fantasies. But I think I'm going to go ahead and drop someone for him as well, just because I think that the Seahawks are going to be using him since Chris Carson is out for sure with that neck surgery. And I think he could bust or boom or bust in one of the weeks when I actually need him.
Nice, nice. I totally agree. And before we leave the running back position, Vincent, I do want to talk a little bit about. Oh wow! Sorry, breaking news, you guys. Sorry, breaking news. We just found something out right now. Matt Nagy asked about report that he's been told that this will be his last game as a head coach. He said it's not accurate. There's a lot of commotion going on of Bears fans or Bears players trying to get him out of there. Can there possibly be a change before Thanksgiving? Can that be his big old thank you? I don't think so, but I think if they don't win this week, he's done. Yeah, he's probably done after the season anyways. But yes, going back to the running back position, before we leave that category, there's a player that I want people to sell high on, especially after this last game. Sell as high as you can get is Myles Gaskin. He had a great game. He's having a great matchup coming up. Sell high on him, you guys. Sell high. I believe who are they playing up against? I think it was the Jets. I wanted to say they're playing up against the Jets, so he has a very favorable matchup. So players are going to want him, sell high on him, try to get someone else. Me personally, I'm selling pretty low. I'm trying to get whatever I can get. It's a far-fetched trade, but I offered Myles Gaskin for Davonte Freeman. Me personally, I don't like a same position trade, but I think Davonte Freeman's going to have a better long run than Myles Gaskin. He's really flashy. He could do really good, or he could be non-existent for your league.
Pretty good. Yeah, right. Like we said, like right now is the time to sell those guys you don't believe in, even if they've been doing good. You don't think they're gonna do good in the last few weeks that you need them. Go ahead and trade them for someone either the same position or opposite. I usually trade opposite because you find a team that needs a running back and you need a receiver. You guys swap and it benefits you both. You just have to make sure you're on the better receiving end there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what do you want to talk about next, AJ? Quarterback.
Exactly. I want to talk about quarterbacks. It's my most hated position because usually what works out for me is that quarterbacks cost me the game, whether I'm playing against them or they have me, or I have them on the team. It happened one time where a quarterback has won me a game, but this whole season, I invested in high draft picks. I'm talking 4th, 5th round draft picks. 2 out of my 3 leagues, I got Russell Wilson, and another league, I have Patrick Mahomes. Now, to the common football player or football fan you say, oh, those are great picks. You know, they're going to be carrying your team throughout the whole season. That's not the case. Yeah, it hurt a lot. Hey, guys, I have a trade question. Go ahead, McCurley Wolf. Shoot, we're here for you. But, yeah, those guys have hurt me drastically these past couple of weeks. So I got a few quarterbacks that I have in mind that can actually help you out. I said this last week. It was Trevor Simeon from the New Orleans Saints. And Vincent scared me when he first started playing. He scared me. He said, hey, dude, Trevor Simeon, he already threw a pick. He's not looking hot. I'm just like, you know what? That's how he plays. He plays horribly in the first half, and then he just picks it back up. He ended off with 24.5 points, so that's awesome. So thank you. He is still out there. He's still available, but also want to put out there that Cam Newton is still available. I know I was bashing on him the first week he was coming back, but, I mean, face the facts. If you got a mobile QB out there, that's a double threat. He's a triple threat guy, but he's going to be gaining points either with his legs or with his arm. He's going to get it done. Vince, do you have anything to add there?
Yeah, man. I was just about to talk about Cam Newton as well. Right now, in one of my leagues, I have Jalen Hurts, and he's the number one quarterback in the NFL app right now. And Cam Newton is looking a lot like him. When they get into the red zone, he's taking the carries. He's the guy that's going to be either throwing or rushing for the touchdown. So if the Carolina Panthers get in the red zone, it's not really McCaffrey's job anymore. Even Chubb was the one who scored more than McCaffrey. So Cam Newton is a great quarterback to choose. Let's see what Mr. Curly Wolf said right now. He said, I have Mixon, Saquon, Fournette, and Sanders. Should I trade Mixon and Sanders for JT? Holy shoot. If not accepted, is Mixon and Fournette too much? Wanting the best lineup I can get. Thanks, guys. I think Mixon and Fournette for JT is too much, so I think you're correct on that part. Yeah, I would say either Fournette and Saquon or Fournette and Sanders. Sorry, I forgot that Sanders was there. Fournette and Sanders or Mixon and Sanders. But I would tread lightly on Mixon because lately he's been that guy. I know that JT just had a monster game, but I don't think that he's going to have another monster game like that. He's going to be getting you 20 points, 25 points at max. I think the Colts actually go back to a little bit more passing, but not too much. So he's still going to be getting the rock. But yeah, I think you either trade away Sanders or Saquon mixed in with Fournette. I say you keep Mixon regardless. Don't trade him away right now. He's hot. They're going to keep using him. But yeah, either Fournette and Saquon or Fournette and Sanders for JT would be probably a good trade.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree there. If you want the best possible lineup that you could get, definitely you want to keep Mixon in there. That guy's been a game changer. The Bengals are coming off of an awesome win here. The defense showed up. They're gonna be grinding it out. They have to win now in that division. They have to win. Mixon's going to be carrying the majority of the load. They're going to use how do you say his name? Pirine.
Oh, Pirine.
More of a pass catch, but Mixon is going to be grinding out, and you best believe that every time they're in the red zone, Mixon's going to be the guy back there. He's going to be scoring you points. He will help you out. But yeah, if you can, I would try to make that trade happen, but keep Mixon there. He's going to help you out tremendously, especially when come playoffs of the fantasy football. So not bad. Good predicament there. Thank you, McCurley Wolf, for being here. Appreciate you watching our podcast. But as you were saying, Vince, about the QB position.
Oh, yeah. Just Cam Newton, if he's on there, pick him up. I know he has a bye week 13, but just go ahead and try to get him in this week. He plays against the Dolphins. I know the Dolphins defense isn't something amazing, but it's not something to take lightly. But I think with Cam Newton, he's been smart with his passes. He's a running machine, of course, and the offense runs through him. See, Saquon and Fournette doesn't sound terrible. Seriously, though, thanks, guys. Sorry to interrupt. Nah, man, we love the questions. Me and AJ thrive on it. It gets us going, and we love to help y'all out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, we do appreciate you being here. We try to do this live because we like the questions coming in. Last week was a little bit of a dry spell for us, but the week before that, we just got nonstop questions where we didn't really get to go to our waiver wire talk. But we appreciate this a lot more than talking about who to pick up or whatnot. We're still going to cover you guys, so we just appreciate you, Mr. McCurley, for being here. Thank you so much. I wish you were here earlier. We did a huge giveaway about 2 weeks ago. But well, I appreciate you. Bells on boys, love the content. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate the notification bell. It does help out tremendously. As you can tell, we're just a small podcast. We're trying to make it. But thank you so much. And yeah, that does not sound terrible. But good luck to you in your fantasy league. Wish you the best. Go get them.
Heck yeah, man. But yeah, the best for you, man. And we're hoping for the same outcome. But going on to the QBs again, got Tyrod Taylor in there. He did spectacular this past game. Nobody has this guy in their fantasy. He's on 1% of rosters, and he was started in 0.2% of rosters. So probably like 3 people in the world had him started. But he went off against Tennessee, and he's got 2 good matchups coming up against the Jets and the Colts. I know the Colts are a great defense, but their D-line is where they get most of their points. So I think that Tyrod Taylor is definitely a start this week. If you need a QB, he's going up against the Jets, and I say he gets about 17 to 22 points because he's looking good. The Texans are looking all right, and I'm kind of scared when I'm going to go watch the Seahawks play them in a couple weeks. So,
You know what I
but
love about this situation right here when it comes to QBs is like for me, for instance, I have Patrick Mahomes, just like I mentioned, and this week he has a bye week, so it's a risk-free QB pickup. Okay, you could go play safe, go pick up Tyler Heineke. The guy's been solid. He's usually available. He's owned in less than 50% of leagues. Or you could take a risk, try to go for a Cam Newton, try to go for a Tyrod Taylor, which I really like because I liked him before he got injured, which he just seems to be injury prone, but he's out of that already. He did amazing last week. I really want to see what he does this week, especially this week going against the Jets, a very weak defense, especially when it comes to, I mean, just a weak defense in general. Um, he's going to tear it up. And if he does that well for you and how inconsistent Patrick Mahomes has been, shoot, I'm even considering selling high on Patrick Mahomes because people still believe in him. I'm the only reason why I'm believing him is because I need him to succeed. I need him to do good. But I don't know. I just want to share that. I love the situation that's going on right now with the bye week and the uncertainty with some quarterbacks and the risk-free pickups that you could get with Tyrod Taylor coming off of injury, Cam Newton coming out of unemployment. It's just it's awesome, awesome.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
man, the last QB I want to talk about is Mr. MVP over here, Joe Flacco. I know AJ doesn't like that guy, but I like him on the Jets. Honestly, he's doing pretty well. He's in 0.3% of rosters. He only got started in 0.1% of rosters, and he put up 20.9 points against Miami. And he's gonna go ahead and play Houston. Houston's backfield is injured right now, so he should be able to do the same and produce the same there. But I really like him with that uh, Elijah Moore guy.
ooh yeah,
I love
yes,
him, man. I love that kid. He's come out of nowhere and he's been spectacular. And I mean, if you don't have any, I mean, I have Garoppolo on here too. He
Jimmy
did pretty
G.
well.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go up against the Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be a shootout game. So I think that, of course, the Niners are still going to run the ball, but I think they throw a few passes in there to the running backs and a lot of passes to Ayuk, who we will talk about soon.
Yes, and it is going to be a very rough game. It is a huge game for both teams, both Minnesota and the San Francisco 49ers, because they are both fighting for that wild card spot. Both have the same record, and they both need a win. Basically, if the playoffs were to end next week, whoever wins that game is in. So it's going to be huge. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to put everything out of the playbook. Huge game. Huge game. But yeah, let's transition to the wide receiver position, like you're talking about Brandon Ayuk, which I hate the commentators, man. Ayuk.
Ayuk.
It's Ayuk. Okay, split some respect on his name. I know he's that sophomore here in the NFL, but he's an amazing receiver. He didn't put up much production in the first half of the season, only because he was in the doghouse. As silly as that sounds, he was in the doghouse with Kyle Shanahan. Missed a couple curfews. Was it acceptable? The Niners organization, which I like, I agree on, but it's Brandon Ayuk. No favoritism. No favoritism. But yeah, you do see his production coming up. Deebo Samuel, he's doing amazing. George Kittle is back. We got a healthy backfield again. That's what scares me. It's going to help Brandon Ayuk, but also hurt him as well because just like the Buffalo Bills, there's a lot of options to go to. You got a running offense, and then you got Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. That's going to hurt you, but also help Ayuk as well, just because he's going to be that third guy that's going to find the open spots. He won't drop balls, and he will. I mean, that's why I love the Niners. They're one of the best teams in yards after catch. As soon as they get that ball, it's hard to take them down. So, like I said, if you could buy low on Brandon Ayuk, I definitely will. If he's available, which I could almost guarantee you that he is available, go pick him up. I think it'll benefit you in the long run. They have a very favorable playoff matchup fantasy playoffs, but very favorable. Could help you guys out.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. With Ayuk, he's all his next matchups are either green or they're in black, but they're not high defenses to go up against.
I like
Let's
this.
see.
I like this question. Smokey the Cat says, "What's up, guys? Pick 2 for Week 12: Josh Jacobs, Bateman, Pollard. Thanks." Ooh, I like
Ooh,
this one. Okay,
I
so
like
Smokey the Cat. First off, appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Appreciate the question. Love the name. Pick 2.
it.
One, I'm 100% on. Okay, I've been talking about this guy since week 2 of fantasy football. No one's been listening to me, but if Lamar Jackson is in, even if he's out, forget that. Bateman, that's number 1. He's in. End of discussion. Okay, number 2, this is where it gets a little tricky. Josh Jacobs, he's iffy. He's inconsistent. I don't like him. Pollard, he picks up points, but here's the kicker here. I'm pretty sure you know this, but Ezekiel Elliott, he re-aggravated that ankle injury, which hurts me because I got Zeke in one of my leagues. So if that's aggravated and it's a Thursday football game, Turkey Day, they're going to be running the ball a lot, especially against the Raiders. I want to say Pollard. Josh Jacobs, I feel like is the safer bet. Keep an eye out. It should be a game time decision. But I still think I'm going with Pollard. Bateman and Pollard. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to go Jacobs and Bateman, man. I know Pollard does get a lot of points, but I think on Turkey Day they use their studs. It's in Jerry's world. Uh, it's on Thanksgiving, which is notorious for the Cowboys to play their stars and have them ball out. So I think Pollard will be in there, but I don't think he'll be in there, even though that Ezekiel Elliott does have an ankle injury.
What if
With
I got a
Jerry,
question?
go ahead.
What if because CeeDee Lamb might miss the game due to concussion and Amari Cooper might miss the game due to COVID? What if they both miss the game? It's going to be a run heavy, pass to the running back game.
You got a point there. Maybe.
That's why I think it's going to be a game time decision. 1 on Zeke, so re-aggravating that injury with his ankle. 2 with CeeDee Lamb if he's not going to be eligible to play because of the concussion. 3, Amari Cooper, who is still on COVID protocol, and it's uniffy. They're all questionable, if not doubtful. Keep a close eye. If those guys are not playing, Pollard 100%. But I mean, Jacobs is not a bad deal for sure. Bateman, go ahead, Vince. Sorry, didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you.
Well, with all that said, if all those guys are out, then yeah, Pollard is that guy over Josh Jacobs. But if not,
Ooh. Oh, hold up. Breaking news, you guys. Breaking news once again. The New York Giants just fired Jason Garrett. You heard it here from Not So Pro Football Talk first. They just fired Jason Garrett. Oh my gosh.
dang,
I mean, sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I don't like when anyone loses their job or anything negative happens. But geez, man. That hurts. I'm not a Cowboys fan, obviously, but breaking news. You guys heard it here first. Whatever. Okay. Smokey the Cat says, also, should I sit Russell for Newton? You just missed our quarterback talk. We literally just talked about both those guys, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton. But you know what? We're going to talk about it again because we appreciate you being here live and asking us questions. Vincent, Seattle Seahawks fans, take it away. Go ahead.
yeah, bro, you're gonna start Newton. This is fantasy talk. This isn't me with talking about if my team's gonna win or not, which they are. Don't get it wrong. They're gonna beat Washington, but I don't think that Russell Wilson's gonna have that spectacular game like you want him to. But I do think Cam Newton will. I know they have an easy matchup, easier than the Washington football team for Russell Wilson, but lately he just hasn't been that consistent. His passes are a little bit off since his finger injury. He just needs a couple more weeks for that touch to come back so he can drop it in there to Tyler Lockett and zip it in there to everybody else, but especially DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf has been very quiet lately.
And trust me, you do. Oh yeah, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett both, hurt me tremendously. You can also buy low on DK Metcalf right now if you got the right league. Go ahead and search for that because I do think he'll come back up, not amazingly, but he will come back up. But definitely start Cam Newton, especially if he's playing him against the Miami Dolphins. Very horrible defense, can't stop the run, especially with a mobile QB. He would have a tough time. He also says Mark Cooper is ruled out for week 12. Oh, okay. So he is ruled out for week 12. That's going to hurt me in my fantasy. Gallup is firing up. Gallup's going to have an amazing game if CD Lamb is playing. If CD Lamb's not playing, he's going to have a, mediocre game. But just because they're going to double team CD, which they have been doing all season long, but it's going to be tough. If CD Lamb is out, Gallup can struggle. Just an FYI. So still, I think still a game time decision. But thank you for the update. Appreciate that. I need to go adjust my lineup right now because we have such a short week. We got 6 teams playing. Six teams playing. That's potentially 12 players. That's potentially a whole roster. It's crazy. But that's why we love fantasy football. It stresses you out when you shouldn't be stressed out. Football is supposed to, you're supposed to like be rooting for your team and your team only, but sometimes you're rooting against your team. You'll never catch me doing that. Never. There is one guy, and since I'm only going to mention this because we have live viewers, I wasn't going to mention this just because lately the 14-man league that I'm in has been so petty about everything I've been saying because I'm in first place. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I should be really humble about this, but sorry. I do apologize. But there's this one player. I got him right here on my phone. Like I said, I don't have on my notes because I didn't want to talk about him, but you guys are forcing me to because you guys are being so great here. He is from the Tennessee Titans, and I'm talking about Nick Westbrook. Nick Westbrook, he got the majority of the targets. A.J. Brown, he's dealing with an injury. And Derrick Henry, obviously, he's out. They're still trying to find their running game. He's going to be the duct tape guy, okay? But here's the kicker. He's not going to do good this upcoming week. He has a bye week the next week. And then he could perform for your team. I'm saying pick him up now. If you're like me, if you're in a 14-man league or in a high percentage league or everyone's just scavenging for players and there's absolutely no one there, hold on to him for 3 weeks and it could be beneficial for you. Just like what I said about Matt Breida. That's all I'm going to say. And I know I'm going to regret it because now he's not going to be available for me. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, you never know, AJ, because I've been talking about these next 3 guys that I'm going to talk about, and nobody's picked them up. So one guy I've already talked about him on the show, Elijah Moore. Nothing else needs to be said there. Right now, in the past 5 weeks, he's averaging 13 points. And in the past 5 weeks, he's had 2 times where he had over 25. So if that doesn't tell you something, maybe last week's numbers will. He just had 32-point game with 2 touchdowns with Joe Flacco at QB. They go up against the Houston Texans, a weak defense. So you better pick him up because he's only picked up in 21.2% of leagues, and everybody that has him has started him. So other than that, I got a guy that AJ is going to really like me talking about. And no, it's not Brandon Ayuk because we already talked about him. But AJ does like Marquis Goodwin from the Bears.
Yeah, baby. Speedster, Mr. Olympian himself.
So since we've been talking about players that have big upside and that nobody has them, right now is to start stocking up on these guys. With Andy Dalton in, he loves Marquis Goodwin because this past game he passed to him 8 times. He only caught 4 of them, but you can't blame him. He's on the Bears. Yeah, he had 104 yards receiving on 4 catches and 1 touchdown. So right now, Andy Dalton loves this guy. They have a tough matchup against the Lions on Thursday, but I don't think the Lions are that tough. So I think for the next 3-4 weeks, whatever your playoff thing is, how it's set up, I think Marquis Goodwin could be a guy that you need to pick up because he has a big boom. He has a high ceiling.
Especially with Andy Dalton projected to start this week. Test came out negative for Justin Fields, but it looks like they're going to be sitting him for Thanksgiving. So Andy Dalton could be that guy again.
Another guy from Chicago. Chicago's been doing pretty decent with Andy Dalton. I like him at starting, but when they played against the Ravens this past week, this guy Darnell Mooney, who I've been talking about on and off lately because he's on and off, but he just had 2 games back to back with 20 points, one against Pittsburgh and one against Baltimore. So he's going up against Detroit as well because he's on the same team. But he had 20 points and 26 points in the past 2 times that he's played. And get this, AJ, get this. Andy Dalton loves this guy more than Goodwin. Because guess how
Nah,
many times he passed him?
8.
16 times, AJ. He passed
16 times?
to Darnell Mooney 16 times. Of course, he only caught 5 of them because he's on the Bears. But if you're passing to a guy that much, there's going to be a connection there sooner or later. Like I said, their matchups aren't that hard the next 3 or 4 weeks. So I would pick up Darnell Mooney. If he's on there, he's owned in 42.4% of leagues. So if he's not there, then I think you need to go after Marquis Goodwin. Because right now the Bears are heating up a little bit with Andy Dalton at the helm. So I think those are your guys to go after for the long-term future.
Nice. Fantasy waiver wire is going on right now on NFL Network. And look at that. They're talking about Elijah Moore, the person who we're talking about, the person who I have in 2 of my waivers this week, who I'm probably not going to get. But that's okay. That's okay. Because my teams, they're ready to go. They're stacked up. 14-man league is the one scaring me. I'm doing the best in that league, but that scares me the most just because it's so unpredictable. The players are so spread out. It's just insane. There is this one guy who has both Cooper Kupp and Deebo Samuel. I faced them last week. Just them alone took care of me. So yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. It's tough, especially with Lamar Jackson not playing. Hopefully he plays just for the sake of my fantasy league. But I mean, oh well. Now, speaking of fantasy leagues, which that's the whole show about, right? Fantasy football. Let's get into defense. I like to talk about defense. It's my favorite thing to talk about. And I say this every podcast, but I'm going to say it again. Same routine. If you're like me, I switch up my defense every single week. And I'm going to pause right here because we got another live question right here. And you guys know us. We appreciate live questions. Davonte Adams and Joe Mixon for Jonathan Taylor. Coming from Deluxe Crange Plays, right? Did I say that right? Crange?
Dang. Let's see. What I want to ask Deluxe Krang plays right now is, are you giving away Davonte Adams and Joe Mixon, or are you giving away Jonathan Taylor? That's the next thing I want to ask, but we'll keep talking about the trade right now.
Yes. Don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. Jonathan Taylor is an amazing player. He's awesome. He's not going to be getting 50 points every game. He's not. It's not going to happen. Awesome game by him. I believe he had, 5 touchdowns? 5. Insane. The Bills, what are you doing? This guy, after 3 touchdowns, hey, maybe we should stop this guy. No, that's not what they're doing. Jonathan Taylor, that's a freak of nature. He's breaking tackles. He's not going to do that every single game. Is he going to help you win games? Yes, 100%. Is Davonte Adams and Joe Mixon going to help you win games? Yes, 100%. But who's going to have a bigger leverage there? He says that he's giving Davonte and Mixon. Me personally, I say you keep Davonte and you keep Joe Mixon. Aaron Rodgers is going to get fired up, and Davonte Adams, he's just going to keep on tearing up. He just had a 30-point game, and he's going to keep on doing it. Joe Mixon, the Bengals. See, even Smokey the Cat, appreciate you still being here, Smokey. He says he wouldn't do that trade. Even the Bengals, just like we said earlier, it's crunch time for them. Their division is a close division. They have to win. They have to grind it out. Joe Mixon is their guy. He's going to be the guy in the backfield every time they're in the red zone, and he's going to be the guy that's always going to be getting the ball because he is the most reliable. He is a veteran there. He's an all-around type of player. Great person as well. I say you keep Davonte Adams and Joe Mixon. I feel like they're trying to, excuse my language. I don't, yeah, they're trying to bait you. They're trying to take advantage of you just because Jonathan Taylor had a great game. That is selling high for a player. Buy low, sell high. They're selling high. Don't overpay for something like that. If you get a good receiver as well, then maybe I would say. But other than that, no, you keep Davonte Adams and Mixon. That's not a good 2-for-1 deal.
The only way I would do a trade for a receiver and running back swap is if he had Cooper Kupp and he put him in there. That was the only way that I would be able to trade Davonte Adams and Joe Mixon for Jonathan Taylor and a receiver. Other than that, you keep Davonte, you keep Joe, because right now those guys are hot, and I think they're going to keep getting more hot as the season goes along because, like AJ said, they're playing for their teams right now, and they're playing for a playoff run.
That's correct. Appreciate the question, Deluxe. Thank you for being here, Fantasy guys. If you guys are not familiar with our podcast, we are starting to do huge giveaways. We did a huge giveaway 2 weeks ago, and it was a random autographed mini helmet. The more subscribers we get, the more giveaways we're going to do. So appreciate y'all being here. We're just a small podcast. Um, Draft 2022, who's going to be top 3 running backs? Now, are we talking fantasy draft, or I'm pretty sure we're talking fantasy draft, right? Not the Okay, cool. Because I've been doing my research for college football. This is the most college football I've ever seen this past year, mainly because of the show and just getting more into it. And I've been into it. But 2022, number one, Derrick Henry, 100%. He is not going anywhere. It's going to be Derrick Henry. Christian McCaffrey, way down here. He's not going to go. There's a possibility he might go top 3, but I would not pick him top 3, 100%. And a lot of it has to do with what's going to happen in the offseason. A lot of it has what these teams are looking at, what these teams are looking for. Jonathan Taylor, I think there's a possibility.
I meant number 3.
Yeah, probably number 3. There's a possibility where he misses the top 3, but I'm going to squeeze him in there, number 3. Now, number 2, easy. You got it in your head right now, Vince?
I think so. I think
okay,
we're
on 3, we're going to say the name, okay? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. Okay. Okay, so we got Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's barely squeezing in there. I could see that changing. I know Dalvin Cook got injured this past year. He came back. He looks amazing. Derrick Henry, he's injured right now. He's really not one to get injured, but I mean, he broke his foot. So, I mean, what do you want him to do? He had foot surgery. But other than that, if it was any other injury, or not any other injury, but he would stay in no matter what. But yeah, I got Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, and as of now, iffy, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. Talking a lot.
So let's get to defense, AJ. Right now is a critical time for defense.
So, man, I would go with Harris.
If he's talking about Damian Harris, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's good, but right now the Patriots are looking like they're more of a passing team. They do run the ball, but right now Harris, his yards per carry is really low. I believe it's under 3. They just don't have the line for running right now. They have the line for the pass game, but
But like I said, that's why a huge part of it deals with the offseason, what moves they're going to make, if they're going to restructure the offensive line. Mac Jones is Najee Harris.
Najee.
You see, I love Najee. And if you were with us when we first started this, even the preseason, when we did our fantasy draft, I was huge on Najee. I love the guy. But the Steelers are on a huge downfall. Yeah. Huge. Najee's the type of guy that does it all. He could catch the ball. He could run the ball. He's a very explosive player. That offensive line can't hold. It cannot. If they restructure that offensive line, which I don't see them doing because there's so many other positions they need to address, then Najee would definitely be top 3. But Najee, I could see him 100% top 8, probably top 6. Yeah. I love him as a player. I think he does amazing, but it just comes down to the team. The team, I saw him Sunday Night Football, a lot of heart, but the talent, I mean, they're missing a lot there. They're just getting bullied, manhandled in the front line. Big Ben didn't have a chance. Najee didn't have a chance. He did all he can to the point where Najee almost got knocked out. That was a dirty hit where he was flipped up and they hit him. I thought he was done, but he's a tough dude. Najee definitely up there in the running backs to get. But I don't think I could put him over a Nick Chubb or yeah, I was just going to say Nick Chubb. I'll stop right there because, like I said, it all comes down to the offseason.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, man, we're talking a lot. I like this. I like this podcast. Good job. But what are we getting into right now?
Defense, my friend.
Oh, my gosh. We talked about defense like 10 minutes ago. we had to stop. But yeah, let's get into defense, guys. My lockdown defense team, speaking of the Steelers, is going to have to be the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals did have a slump defensively. Last week they came out, they crushed the competition. I believe they played up against the Raiders. They played up against the Raiders, completely shut them out. They did amazing. I could see them doing that against the Steelers, especially since it's a divisional game and the way the Steelers just got banged up last week. I mean, you had like 4 players leave the field due to injury. It was pretty bad. But that's my locked up defense of the week. And then it's going to get a little tougher because we got good matchups. And I don't really see any team outshining anyone else. Like deep down, I want to put the Washington football team's defense against the Seattle Seahawks. But the part of me still believes that Russell Wilson's going to come out one day. And I have a feeling it's going to be this week. I really hope it isn't. Just because I think I'm starting Heineke over Russell
Mm.
Wilson, but Washington football team, I think that's one defense to look out for. Another one, you can't even put the Falcons and Jaguars on there. If anything,
That's
maybe the
like a high
Falcons.
scoring game.
It's gonna be bad. There's just a lot of evenly played matchups. Chargers been doing pretty well. You might want to put them up against the Broncos. I feel like they can slow them down big time. Another one is going to sound far fetched here, but hear me out. Is a Patriots defense against the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee
Wait,
is usually a
that's
powerhouse.
that's not even a far out thing, man. Right now, the Patriots are the number one defense on the app.
I know, but I mean, we talk about the Titans. You think strong, powerful, offensive team. I know with Derrick Henry being out and AJ Brown getting hurt, I think that sets him up for a very low scoring game for them. But yeah, I got 3 defense right there. Another one that I can put up there, and I really don't want to put up there. I don't even know if I should say it or not. I'm gonna put 2 up there. Okay, I'm gonna put 2. One matchup that can be good are the Packers against the Rams. The Rams have been struggling lately. They even struggled against the San Francisco banged up defense. I could see the Packers doing well. And I was about to talk about the Bears, about to talk about them, but I was gonna favor the Lions defense. That's what I was gonna do. Bears. I also steam defense each week. Yeah, I do the same. I do the same dang thing. And last week it killed me. I thought I hit a hidden gem. I got the Tennessee's defense against the Texans.
Yeah.
What the he double hockey sticks just happened? If I were to go back last week, I still would have taken it back because I would have never thought that would have happened. They screwed me. They hurt me a lot. But yeah, Bears. I think the Lions are getting their first win here. I
Me too.
I think so. I mean, they have all the momentum going for them. They've been losing close games. The Bears, they are self-destructing. They're hitting that button. They're at home. They want the head coach out of there. Justin Fields is banged up. They got Andy Dalton, which no one likes, that redhead kid out there in Chicago. So I think nothing's going to go right for them. The Lions should be able to take care of them. But like I said, all this whole week, defense is going to be close matchups. It's hard to tell. Those are my defense that I would choose.
I like it, man. I like it. I think this week is one of the harder weeks to pick a defense because the matchups are so even. Even if you look at the records for every team who's playing against each other, they're like off by 1 or 2 wins and losses. So I mean, right now it's the perfect storm for just some random defense to do amazing and some unknown defense to also do amazing. So you just don't know. Right now, if you have a defense on there, you have some faith in them, I'd keep them in. But right now, what I'm doing for defense is I'm setting up for week 14 and the playoffs.
Very smart.
Because
smart.
right now I have in 2 out of the 4 leagues that I have the Colts as my defense. They're the number 4 ranked right now. In one of those, I also have the Patriots, but they both have a bye week on week 14, so I can't play either of them. So right now I'm making some moves to get a defense that I'm going to believe in week 14, and I'm going to keep one of those, the Patriots and Colts defense, and take them into the playoffs. So right now, to me, right now is the best time to set up for playoffs and for week 13 and 14 because there are a lot of bye weeks for a lot of good teams. So
Hmm. It really is. It really is. But I think that kind of wraps it up for fantasy talk, huh?
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
All we gotta
guys.
do is do our
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 pick'ems.
projections. Yeah, man.
Okay, so usually we missed the past 2 weeks because of all the questions we were getting. But usually at the end of each show, we do either a Monday night projection or a Thursday night football projection. This week is going to be a little different because it's Turkey Day and we got 3 games. How lucky are we? Guys, ask a question. Hey, man, ask us all you want. We'll be here all day long. I don't mind. Well, actually, I got work in a little bit, so I still work full-time job. Uh, unfortunately, but you know how it is. Smoking the Cat says, guys, last question: Jaceki or Fant this week? Easy.
Ooh.
I think it's an easy question.
Well, who do you think?
Not Fant.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah,
Gasecki
not
because
not Fant. Yeah, for sure. No, Jaceki. That 1 week where I had him in and he scored 0 points. Yeah, that was a fluke. That's not going to happen. He's going to be getting targets again. Don't worry about that. Jaceki over Fant all day long. The Broncos is very similar to like what I was talking about. The 49ers. They have so many options to go to. A lot of options. You got Cortland Sutton. You got T. Patrick. Jerry Judy. Is he still injured? I don't know. I don't know.
no, he's
I'm
back.
lost with the
Back.
Broncos.
Yeah.
I gave up on him. But yeah, Fant, heck no. If you can, get rid of him. Jaceki all the way for sure. And also, if you want to, we didn't even talk about tight ends, but if he's available, guess who's coming back? It is his time again. Logan Thomas, he's coming back from IR. Go pick him up. He's going to be a point machine. He has almost the same production as a Rob Gronkowski. He's a great dude, and especially in an offense like that.
And they're going against the Seahawks. The Seahawks are one of the worst teams against tight ends right now.
Yes, sir.
If he
Yes,
does
sir.
play, if he comes off injured reserve, I would start him.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate the question, Smokey the Cat. Appreciate you being here, man. Make sure I don't want to be that guy to be like, hey, make sure you subscribe. But if you are subscribed, when we do giveaways, only subscribers can win those giveaways, and we do pretty darn good giveaways. This past time, we did an autographed mini helmet. It was legit awesome. It comes with a letter of
Authenticity.
authenticity. I always lose my train of thought sometimes. But let's get into Thursday night football, you guys. We got 3 games. I'm working half the day, so I won't be able to enjoy half of them, or I won't be able to enjoy the most of them. But we got the Bears at the Lions, the Raiders at the Cowboys, and the Bills at the Saints. I like this lineup of games. I really do.
Too. And like I said earlier, like if you look at the wins and losses, like every team is off by 1 or 2. So it's pretty good. Thank you for that subscription, Smokey the Cat. We
Smokey the
love
Cat.
it. Just stay tuned. Make sure you hit that bell so you know every time we go live.
Yes, sir. We go live every Monday at 6 o'clock, and we try to go live on Tuesdays for fantasy talk. We try because we both have full time lives and we're all over the place. But we feel I like going live. I like answering questions live. I just enjoy it a little more. But we appreciate you. Appreciate you being here. But we're gonna get into our picks of Thursday night football. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll go first, man. I usually do.
Okay.
But
All right.
I'm gonna try to get only one game per thing right now. So right now is the Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions. Let me move this over here so you guys can hear me. So right now, I got, as you can see, the Detroit Lions beating the Bears. I had them winning. I had the Detroit Lions winning the last game against the Steelers, but they decided they wanted to tie and they didn't want to win. So this time, I think they're gonna win, and I think it's against a weak Bears defense right now. Um, so that's my pick. For the next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders against the Cowboys, and as you see there, I think the Cowboys just stomp on the Raiders on Thanksgiving. Man, I think the Raiders eat too much turkey; they fall asleep at the end. So I think the Cowboys win that pretty easily. And then the last game, this one's going to be a tight one. It's the Thursday night game. Hopefully, AJ can catch this one because this one's going to be a good one. I know I have their name as the New Orleans Aints, but it's just because we like to poke fun at one of our friends, Muhammad. But yeah, I think the New Orleans Saints win a tight game against the Bills. I don't think it's going to be that score, but that's how tight I think it is. I think the point margin is going to be 1 or 2 points, and it's going to go down to the wire.
I like it. I like your picks. I really do. Um, I do want to apologize ahead of time. I did try to draw logos this time. I drew it with under a minute, so you guys don't be too harsh in the comment section, please.
Let's
First
see.
off, I got the Bears and the Lions. I got the Lions winning this game. Like I was talking about earlier, I think the Lions are done. They're going to take some bare kneecaps. They're ready to go. Nestor says, hello. What's going on, Nestor? Appreciate you being here. He's part of our Facebook faithfuls. Thank you so much. But yeah, I got the Lions winning 32-27 against the Bears that are hitting that self-destruct button. Then I got the Raiders against the Boys, baby. I think that's going to be a close game. I think the Cowboys are barely going to squeeze off a win. You know me. I'm a Derek Carr guy. I'm rooting for the Raiders that day. I don't think they could pull it off. They've just been in a downslope, and I don't think they could pick it back up, especially against a Cowboys team like they are. I know they just lost, but they are a very strong team. Even with those players potentially missing out that game, I still think the Cowboys come out with the W. Then we got the Bills and the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints are going to come out with this one. I think Trevor Simeon is going to get his first win of the he's going to come out and he's going to just totally bully the Bills, just like the Colts did. But I got the Saints winning 24-17. Thank you very much. I will take an art class for y'all's sake. Thank you.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
Oh, man. What a show. That was great. It was a long show, too. I like it when it lingers on because that just means we're getting questions and we're interacting with the viewers. So we appreciate every single one of y'all. And like I said, we go live every Monday at 6 o'clock. And then on Tuesdays, it's a little iffy. We try to go live for fantasy talk. And if we do, it's either at 12 o'clock or at 8 o'clock. So a huge difference. But we appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to listen to us ramble on about fantasy football or just football in general. I mean, if you guys have any questions, you guys just want to talk football, let us know. Like you see down here below, we're on Spotify, Not Pro Football Talk, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, anything. If you guys have any questions about any fantasy talk or anything like that, it doesn't have to be in the comment section. Just DM us. We'll answer. We're pretty active there. But other than that, guys, thank you all so very much. Good luck on your fantasy teams. And until next time, we'll see you guys on the waiver wire.